And welcome back to Millennium TV 24. And we're going to go into a very important topic that have found researching the news. So I realized that I wanted to touch base and topics on health because I had Bernadette who was going to come in. But not only that, these things need to be discussed. So let's get into it, right? The U.S. deaths from heart disease and diabetes climbed amid COVID. The U.S. saw remarkable increases in the death rates for heart disease, diabetes, and some other common killers in 2020. And experts believe a big reason may be that many people with dangerous symptoms made the lethal mistake of staying away from the hospital for fear of catching the virus. The death rates posted online this week by federal health authorities add to the growing body of evidence that the number of lives lost directly or indirectly to the virus in the U.S. is far greater than the officially reported COVID-19 death toll of nearly 600,000 in 2021. But for months now, researchers have known that 2020 was the deadliest year in U.S. history, primarily because of COVID-19. But the data released this week showed that the biggest increases in the death rates for heart disease and diabetes in at least 20 years. I would probably use the word alarming, said Dr. Tanis Moan, a diabetes expert at UCLA. There's a reason why a lot of people are dying more because of heart disease, and we're going to get into this, but let's keep going. It's because of COVID, and a lot of people were not taking care of themselves. So if they're scared of the COVID, but you're not paying attention because it's not being addressed, it's not being informed to the viewers, to the people in the communities, that you need to take care of your health. You need to build your immune system. There are other diseases that are still lingering out there, and nobody is focusing on that because everybody is focusing on wearing a mask and not getting the COVID. So they're not taking care of their bodies. But let's keep going, right? So the Disease Control and Prevention reported that nearly 3.4 million Americans died in 2020, an all-time record. Of those deaths, more than 345,000 were directly attributed to COVID-19. CDC also provided the numbers of death for some of the leading causes of mortality, including the nation's top two killers, which are heart disease and cancer. Cancer is the other one. But the data released this week contains the death rates fatalities relative to the population, which is considered a better way to see the impact from year to year, since the population fluctuates. So some experts believe a larger reason is that many patients did not seek treatment in an emergency because they feared becoming infected with the virus. Okay, so when hospitalization rates for COVID would go up, we would see dramatic declines in patients presenting to the emergency room with heart attacks, stroke, or heart failure, or they're not even reporting it. Dr. Jones, Dr. Jones, a university researcher who is president-elect of the American Heart Association, said that other possible explanations also point indirectly to the virus. Many patients stopped taking care of themselves during the crisis, gaining weight or cutting back on taking high blood pressure medicine. Experts also said that the stress of the crisis, the lockdown-related disappearance of exercise options, and the loss of jobs and the accompanying health insurance were all factors too. This is what we have to pay attention to. We need to focus and understand that there are more other illnesses than COVID-19 because this is all that's being displayed. Every single article, you will have something related to COVID-19, but we need to focus on other health issues so that we can stay healthy. So let's keep going. The death rate from the nation's number two killer, cancer, continued its decline during the year of COVID-19. It fell about 2% in 2020, similar to the drop seen from 18 to 19. Even though cancer screenings and cancer care declined or were often postponed last year. But there's a reason for that. Lloyd Jones' theory for the decline. Many of the virus victims were fighting cancer, but COVID intervened and became the primary cause of death. And why do you think that is? I don't know. But I'll let you marinate and I'll let you think on it. But let's move on to the next story. And as many of you know, I am vegan, and I had to relay this message. Could a plant-based diet help ward off severe COVID? Advocates of plant-based diets suggest they can reduce the risk of chronic illnesses such as heart disease, It was we just talking about, and healthy environment. Now, new research suggests they may provide another health benefit, lowering COVID-19 severity. A plant-based diet was associated with 73% lower odds to moderate to severe COVID-19 infection in the study. A pescatarian diet, which includes fish but limits or eliminates meat, was associated with 59% lower odds compared to those who ate a plant-based diet. With those with a low-carb, high-protein diet had nearly 4 times the odds of moderate to severe COVID-19 infection, and that's according to the study. So I've been telling people that all the time. You also have to watch what you eat and what you're putting into your bodies, because plants heal ourselves. We are capable of healing our bodies and controlling what enters in, and also how we can release those toxins. Next, so our results suggest that a healthy diet rich in nutrient-dense foods may be considered for protection against severe COVID-19. And that was said by the researchers led by Dr. Sarah Seidelman of Stanford Health in Connecticut. Plant-based diets were described as high in vegetables and nuts and low in poultry and red and processed meats. The researchers noted that plant-based diets are rich in nutrients, especially phytochemicals, and that is vitamins and minerals, which are important for a healthy immune system. Fish is also an important source of vitamin D and omega-3 fatty acids, both of which have anti-inflammatory properties. Researchers drew on a survey responses of nearly 2,900 frontline doctors and nurses with extensive exposure to COVID-19 infection. The doctors were working in the US, France, Germany, Italy, Spain, and the United Kingdom. The survey asked about their dietary patterns over the past year based on a food frequency questionnaire. It also asked about the severity of any COVID infections they had. So researchers learned that 568 respondents had symptoms consistent with COVID-19 infection, or no symptoms but a positive swab test for the infection. Among the 568 cases, 138 clinicians said they had moderate to severe infection. The remaining 430 said they had very mild to mild COVID infection. A high quality diet is important for mounting an adequate immune response. Did y'all hear that? Which in turn can influence susceptibility to infection and its severity. McAuliffe said in a journal news release, however, this study highlights the need for better design perspective studies on the association between diet, nutritional status, and COVID-19 outcomes. So again, please, I seen someone say the other day, making fun of people who take sea moss and, oh, I gotta take sea moss, but you're not, even if you don't take sea moss, and a lot of people know that I, have a brand, so Smacked Off Sea Moss. But if you don't want to take sea moss, you don't have to, but I would advise you not to be eating the things that are affecting your body, that is including the meats and the fatty and all the stuff that builds up mucus and things like that, or causes joint pains and things like that, to that nature. You don't have to do the other things if you feel that that's not going to benefit you, but I will definitely take into consideration what you're putting into your body, because that is a major outcome on why you're not feeling well. So next, I'm going to end this with this article. I found this article, and according to Dr. Michael Greger, he's a physician. He's also a New York Times bestselling author and internationally recognized who is a speaker on nutrition, food safety, and public health issues. So, why a plant-based diet can be better than meds for heart disease lifestyle approaches aren't only safer and cheaper, but they can work better because they let us treat the actual cause of the disease. The most likely reason most of our loved ones will die is heart disease. It's up to each of us to make our own decisions about what to eat and how to live. But we should make these choices consciously by educating ourselves about the predictable consequences of our actions. Atherosclerosis, I practice this word, or hardening of the arteries begins in childhood. The arteries of nearly all kids raised on the standard American diet already have fatty streaks marking the first stage of the disease by the time they are 10 years old. After that, the plaque starts forming in our 20s, which gets worse in our 30s, and then can start killing us off. In our heart, it's called a heart attack, and in our brain, it can manifest as a stroke. So for anyone reading this or listening is older than 10 years old, the choice isn't whether or not to eat healthfully. to prevent heart disease is whether or not you want to reverse the heart disease you likely already have. That is crazy. Something miraculous happened. Is that even possible? When researchers took people with heart disease and put them on the kind of plant-based diet followed by populations who did not get epidemic heart disease, their hope was that it might slow down the disease process or maybe even stop it. Instead, something miraculous happened. The disease actually started to reverse. It started to get better. As soon as patients stopped eating artery clogging diets, their bodies were able to start dissolving away some of the plaque, opening up arteries without drugs and without surgery, suggesting their bodies wanted to heal all along, but just were never given that chance, never given the opportunity. That improvement in blood flow to the heart muscle itself was after only 3 weeks of eating healthily. So let me share this with you. What's been called the best kept secret in medicine. Sometimes, given the right conditions, the body can heal itself. Take, for instance, what happens when you accidentally whack your shin really hard on the coffee table, right? It gets red, it gets hot, painful, swollen, and inflamed. But it'll heal naturally if you just stand back and let your body work its magic. Listen to this. What would happen, though, if you keep whacking your shin in the same place day after day or 3 times a day? Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, okay? That's what we're trying to teach you. It will never heal. You might turn to your doctor complaining of shin pain and would probably limp out of the office with a prescription for painkillers. You'll still be whacking your shin 3 times a day, but the pain will be a little duller thanks to those pills you've been popping. Right, that's what they want to do, give you them pills. But the underlying cause is similar to people taking nitroglycerin for crushing chest pain. They may get tremendous relief, but they're not doing anything to treat the underlying cause. Our body wants to come back to health if we let it. But if we keep re-damaging ourselves 3 times a day, we may never heal. In the same way, we can re-injure our arteries with every bite. But all we have to do is follow medicine's best kept secret and just stand back, get out the way, stop re-damaging ourselves, and let our body's natural healing processes bring us back towards health. The human body is a self-healing machine. So that is what you have to get to through your heads and understand that. And once you realize that, you will know that you will not need half of the drugs that you're taking that's in your cabinets, and start putting some more natural things into your body to actually heal yourself. So again, I'm about to end this, but you know what I'm going to end it with? The weather today. Yes, today is Thursday. It is the 10th, and we have a 5% chance of rain, partly cloudy, high 81 degrees, wind east at 10 to 15 miles per hour. And tonight we have an 11% chance of rain, which mainly clear skies, low near 60 degrees, winds east at 10 to 15 miles per hour. And tomorrow, Friday, is the day, sunshine and clouds mix just a little, by high 73 degrees, winds east at 10 to 15 miles per hour. And I think I brought some sunshine to you guys today, and I'm about to end this, and we're going to close out. And my name is Kim Seabrook. You are watching Millennium TV 24. Thank you for tuning in and sticking with us through the technical difficulties, through the great times, through everything. We appreciate you. We'll see you next time. eat some food.